is going on with Instagram's algorithm? If you've clicked on this video, it's because you've asked yourself that question at least once in the past year. I get a lot of messages from people sending me screenshots of their insights on Instagram, and they'll say something like, Jade, what's happened to the algorithm? Like, my content is suddenly not being recommended to anyone. Or they'll say the opposite and say, Jade, what's going on with the algorithm? I'm suddenly getting loads of reach. I know what you're thinking. Are there actually people out there who are seeing a spike in their reach and engagement as a result of the algorithm? And the answer is yes. All of that to say that there is a lot of things going on with Instagram's algorithm, and I want to spend today's video just talking about it. So if you like content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I upload new videos every single week. Okay, so there are a couple things that you need to know about Instagram's algorithm that is going to help you understand what on earth is going on with it at any given time, right? The first thing is that we refer to Instagram's algorithm as a singular thing when actually there are multiple algorithms. There are several algorithms which power Instagram, and the reason why is because we use all of the different features on Instagram in different unique ways. We use our stories to find content from our friends and family, whereas we use the explore page to find content from creators we've never seen before, right? We use Instagram in different ways, we interact with their features in different ways, which means that they have to develop different algorithms for each of their features to ensure that they are working properly and we're seeing the content we want to see. Whether or not that actually does work and we think the algorithm is good or not is beside the point. The point is that there are multiple algorithms at any given time, okay? The second fact that you need to be aware of is that the algorithms are literally always changing. And don't get me wrong, there have been a couple times in the past year where there have been a big significant change, and I'll talk about those in a minute. But most of the time, guys, when people say like, has the algorithm changed? Yes. Yes, it has. It's always changing. It's because it's driven by AI and it's all about like machine learning and stuff. So basically it is constantly changing because it's constantly trying to improve itself and get better. So if you pair the fact that Instagram has multiple algorithms with the fact that the algorithms are always changing, you will realize that it's actually very, very difficult for most of us to ever identify if there has been a significant change to the algorithms, and if therefore that is the reason why our content is not performing as well as it used to perform. So if you share a post on your Instagram page today and you think, oh, it's not performing as well as it normally does, it's very difficult for you to then say, okay, it's because the algorithm has changed again and now I need to change all of my content because now the algorithm is different. I want us to all stop doing that, because the result is that we constantly change our Instagram strategy even when it doesn't need changing. So the result is we share one post and then we're like, scrap everything, we've got to change everything we're doing and mix it up. Then we share another post and we're like, oh, okay, that didn't work either, and then we change our whole strategy again. When in reality, because of the nature of the algorithms always changing, we can't know if that one post didn't perform well because of the algorithm. Like, there's no way of us knowing for sure. All we can do is decide on what kind of content we're going to share, stick to that for a few months, look back at it, and then decide, okay, wait, is this working or is this not? Okay, so those are the main two facts that you need to be aware of when it comes to the algorithm. I do want to take a moment just to say that I'm not trying to gaslight you though. So I'm not trying to say, oh, the algorithms, they're always changing, ignore them, they're not making any impact on the performance of their content. They are. It's just that the impact is happening every single day over a period of time versus one day where everything changes, right? And just to further that point a little bit more, Instagram's engagement rate, or average engagement rate, this is specifically for businesses, but I'm willing to bet it's applicable for everyone, has gradually been declining for the past couple of years. So specifically in 2022, engagement dropped by around 30%, even though posting frequency increased by 25%. So people were posting more content, but the engagement was actually dropping. So all of this to say that engagement is dropping. I'm not trying to gaslight you and say it's not happening. It is. It's just that it's happening gradually, guys. It doesn't happen like really quickly within the span of one day. So let's talk about some of the significant changes that have happened to the algorithm recently, because I mentioned that there have been 2 times where Instagram have made quite a big change to their algorithm, and these really are the main 2 times that we can actually confirm that there's been a big change happened in a short period of time. So the first was when Instagram announced that they were going to be prioritizing original content. What this means is that if you share content where you're consistently reposting other people's content, so anything that's already existed on the platform multiple times before, Instagram will down rank it, which will mean that that it won't reach as many people as it previously would have. The reason behind this move was because Instagram wants to encourage more original content creators on their platform, and they want to be able to reward original content as well. Now, the other change that came to Instagram's algorithm was when they decided to de-rank anything they deemed as low quality. Now, keep in mind, Instagram has always been checking the quality of your content. It's not like they suddenly thought, oh wait, maybe we don't want low quality content on our platform. They've never wanted it. It's just that last year, a lot of people reported, and when I say people, I mean like publications and researchers, they reported that Instagram enforced an algorithm change, which meant that if your content was perceived to be low quality, it would actively be de-ranked, so fewer people would see it. What do I mean by low quality? I'm talking about content which is really pixelated, it's really like blurry, but not in like an artistic cool way. More in like a 2008 camera flip phone way, right? And also, you know when you upload reels, and I'm speaking directly to you because I know someone watching this does this, you know when you upload reels and it doesn't take up the whole screen, right? It's not 9:16, which is the format of reels. Instead, it's like a square photo, or it's a video that just hasn't been zoomed in enough to take up the whole screen. That is classified as low quality because it's not the right specs and the right dimensions for that content type. So all that to say that the basic things like ensuring things aren't blurry, ensuring things are like well lit and you can see what's in the video, the basic checks you would make to decide if something's low quality or not, you need to be making those all the time. Now, I'm willing to bet that half the people watching this will be like, oh God, okay, I need to fix up some of my content. And the other half will be like, I don't have a problem, my quality is always great. So those are the main two changes that we know of that have actually impacted how Instagram's algorithms perform on a significant level, okay? All other changes are very much happening, but they're happening so gradually and so consistently that it's hard for us to pinpoint exactly what's going on and if it's the reason for your channel either blowing up or declining. All right, so let me give you some practical tips here, because you know it wouldn't be a video by me if I didn't give you some kind of tips or tactics to help you if you think that your reach or your engagement has dropped and if you're convinced that it's because of the algorithm. Let me talk to you about what you could do. First of all, you need to check your content for a few things. You need to check if it's low quality, as I just mentioned. Check if you have any watermarks on it. I'm talking to you guys who download your TikToks and then upload them onto Instagram with TikTok's logo on it, thinking, oh, I'll be fine. It's not fine. Instagram don't like it. Check if you have violated any of Instagram's community guidelines. I'll put a link to all of their community guidelines in the description of this video. And check your account status. So this is a new feature released by Instagram, which basically allows you to see in plain sight, clear as day, if Instagram are restricting the reach of your content for any reason. So essentially, I'll put a little screen recording up here so you can see how to access it. But essentially, the account status feature will tell you if your channel is following the recommendation guidelines, which basically means that if you are following those guidelines, your content can be recommended to people outside of your existing audience. And also if your content is following the community guidelines. And again, if you are following the community guidelines, then your content can be recommended to other people. And that is how you're going to get more reach and more engagement. If your content is not meeting both of those guidelines, then your account will be restricted in terms of how many people you can reach. Eventually, that restriction should be lifted and there should be a way for you to appear it on the app. But regardless, that feature is a really great way for you to see in plain black and white whether or not your content is being restricted by Instagram. A few more strategic things you could do. First of all, stop comparing your engagement and your reach or whatever other metrics you have to the engagement and reach you used to get a couple years back. As I mentioned at the start of this video, engagement and reach has steadily been declining on Instagram for years. So that means that we are all, or most of us, are seeing less reach and less engagement than we used to a couple years back. What good is it going to do us to compare our channel's performance to when Instagram was a slightly different platform and all of us were doing better? It's not helping anyone, so just stop doing it, okay? We've got to focus on how we can make today's content better than yesterday's versus how we're going to make today's content better than the content we shared 2 years ago. It's a different platform, it's a different world. I also want you to do a content audit, and I could do a whole video on this if you want one, but essentially what that involves is you going through your content and finding what content performed well for you, ideally within the last 3 to 6 months, and then also finding what content did not perform well for you, okay? When you do that, you're able to look at that content and draw some trends and some conclusions to help you figure out what you need to do to create content which performs well and what you should avoid doing so that you don't end up sharing more content that doesn't perform well. Final thing that I want you to do is to focus on the real end goal. goal here. If you don't have an end goal or a vision, then you need to create one. But if you do have one, I want you to remember what that is, because your vision and your end goal will not be, or at least shouldn't be, to have 10,000 followers or, you know, to reach X amount of people. That shouldn't be the end goal. What are you actually trying to achieve with your Instagram channel, right? For me, I'm generally trying to help content creators earn more money online. And if I share one video that only reaches 5 people, I've still technically done that job. I've helped someone in some way, and therefore I'm still fulfilling my vision. When you focus on the vision and the true purpose of your social media presence, it becomes a lot easier to stomach the fact that your engagement has dropped. Genuinely. And you're probably hearing that thinking, yeah, right. Honestly, my engagement has significantly dropped. It doesn't bother me. I'm still doing what I'm trying to do with my channel and my page. So honestly, I don't lose any sleep over it. Okay, I hope you found that useful. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about my trend predictions and also some leaked features coming to Instagram this year. It's really important that you watch this video because it's going to help you really get ahead of the curve when it comes to Instagram this year. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I will see you in my next video.